You might be surprised, but hiring a private paid criminal defense attorney is actually cheaper than the public defender, and I'll tell you why. I'm Adam Rossen with the Rossen Law Firm, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about why hiring a private paid criminal defense attorney is actually cheaper than using the public defender. So let's get into it. When you have a private paid criminal defense attorney, more often than not, you're going to get a better level of customer service, a better level of client care. You're going to get more hours and time devoted to working on your case. You're going to get a better result. Now, if all these things happen, then the likelihood of your life and your future being scarred by a criminal conviction is going to be a lot lower. So what do I mean by this? Well, if your lawyer doesn't handle the case correctly, then it's not just fines and court costs. Yes, those things can pile up. But what is the true cost of a criminal conviction? Okay. Well, obviously, if you go to jail, right, that there's a cost in that as far as, do you lose your job? Okay. Do you lose your rent? How far back does this set you from making money and saving money? Obviously, there's a big difference between jail, maybe 5 days in jail versus 6 months, or of course, serious prison time. But let's say you don't go to jail, but it is a criminal conviction. Okay. Well, that's going to affect employment. Not all the time, but in the vast majority of cases, it will. How are you going to pass a background check? What if you work with children? What if this is a DUI and you drive for a living or you need your driver's license? There's so many factors that a criminal conviction can interfere with. Okay. Not just to mention losing, civil liberties and things like that. License suspensions as well. Being on probation and having drug testing and being inconvenienced by the reporting requirements. Another hallmark of probation is verifying your employment. So there's nothing more embarrassing than your boss getting a call from Miss Johnson, your probation officer, saying, "Hi, so-and-so, or, boss, I'm Miss Johnson from probation calling to make sure that my client, so-and-so actually works for you. Does he?" How embarrassing is that? Okay. Of course, there's a lot of people that are understanding in those situations, but there's many more that are not. When we're talking about a DUI, it's not just the license suspension costs and issues, but we're also talking about the increased insurance costs. Florida is one of the very few states that requires FR 44 insurance when you get convicted of a DUI. That insurance alone, you have to have for 3 years. And if it increases your rate $500 a month, which we often see, 500 times 36 months is $18,000. Could be a little lower. It could be even higher. So that alone is just extra insurance that you have to pay. There's a lot of these other consequences that come from criminal convictions that you're not even thinking about, and bad lawyers aren't even thinking about while they're handling your case. So can you imagine that when you're looking at it and you're going, geez, a DUI lawyer, it's between the $3,000 DUI lawyer and maybe the $7,500 or $10,000 DUI lawyer, right? People need to know, well, hey, that FR 44 could cost you 18 grand or more, in addition to all the other fines, fees, costs, penalties, which alone a DUI conviction, studies show, can cost somebody up to $30,000 when all penalties and lost opportunities are said and done. Florida already has insurance rates that are 59% higher than the rest of the country. Okay, so when you're living in Florida, we're already paying through the roof. Just imagine even more and piling on even more and more if you make the wrong choice in your attorney. Another issue that we often see is housing. You might lose your housing. What happens when you're going to rent in an HOA or a private community and they're doing a background check on you? Look, I can tell you, I have a rental property, and as understanding as I am as a private criminal defense attorney, if I see a domestic violence charge on there or multiple things, I'm just not going to want to deal with the riffraff. It's human nature. It's life. And so if there's two people who are equally situated as far as everything else and want the place, well, I'm just naturally going to pick the one who has a clean background. Okay. And that's just life. So what's the cost of that? What's the cost of somebody saying, you know what, I'll rent to you, but you need to pay 6 or 12 months up front because, I don't trust you. Okay. Or because you have this criminal conviction. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, those things happen in today's day and age. So what we found is the cost of a criminal conviction, the cost of hiring the wrong lawyer, whether it's the cheap lawyer or whether it's, a public defender who's ill prepared to handle your case. And understand some PDs are really good. I talk about the differences and when they are good versus when they're not in another video. So definitely, watch that video as I go more in depth. But when you hire the wrong lawyer, or have the wrong lawyer in your case, studies actually show that it's generations deep. Criminal conviction can affect 3 generations deep. So the cost is tremendous. Financial, lost opportunity cost, and just, going generation to generation of lost opportunities and money for you and your family. So it's a lot more expensive than you think. So I caution everybody, don't just live in the here and the now. Think about your future. Think about your short term, but also think about your long-term future when you're making this very vital, important decision in your life. If you have any questions at all, feel free, give us a call. We try to make hiring us very easy. We have a lot of different financing options. As long as the client wants to work with us and we want to work with you, I've always said we'll find a way to make it work. Give us a call, 754-206-6200.